Yeah, hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and in this video we will try to answer the question for exercise 1.9. Question number 1, find the HCF of this number by means of prime number. So we begin with 48. We can write down the prime factors 2, 24, 2, 12, 2, 6, and 2 and 3. So we get 2 to the power of 4 times 3. Then for 108, we divide by 2, we get 44, 2, 27, 3, 9, 3, and 3. So the prime factor, the product is 2 square times 3 cube. For the highest common factor, we both get 2 as the factor and 3, and we write down as the lowest in this. So 2 times 2 times 3. 4 times 3, the answer is equal to 12. Next, we continue with question B. We raise the answer. 120, 260, 230, 215, 3, and 5. So we get 2 cube times 3 times 5, 216. We divide by 2, 108, 254, 227, then 3, 9, 3, and 3. So we get 2 cube times 3 cube. For the highest common factor, we both get 2 power of 3 times 3, and for number 5, it's not the common factor, so the answer only 2 cube times 3. So the answer is equal to 24. Next, we continue with question C. 72, 2 and 36, 2 and 18, 2 and 9, 3 and 3. So 2 cube times 3 square. 90, 2 and 45, 3 and 15, 3 and 5. So we write down as 2 times 3 square times 5. So the highest common factor, we both get 2 and 3 square. So the answer is 18. We continue with question D. 52, 2 and 26, and then 2 and 13. We get 2 square and 13. For number 78, we divide by 2, 39, 3, and 13. So we get 2 times 3 times 13. For the highest common factor, we both get 2 and 13. So the answer is 26. 100, we get the product of the prime number 2 and 50, 2 and 25, 5 and 5. 2 square times 5 square. 125, we divide by 5, 25, 5 and 5. So 5 cube. So the highest common factor is 5 square, which is equal to 25. Next, 154, we begin with division by 2. We get 77, and then 7 and 11. So 2 times 7 times 11. 88, we get 2 and 44, 2 and 22, 2 and 11. So 2 cube times 11. So the highest common factor, we get 2 and 11. So the answer is equal to 22. Next, we get 546. We begin with division by 2. 273, and then we divide by 3. 91, and then by 7, we got 13. 624, we divide by 2, we got 312, divide by 2 again. 156 divided by 2 again, 78, and then we get by 2, 39, 3, and 13. So the product of the prime number for the multiplication 2 times 3 times 7 times 13. Here we got 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 to the power of 4 times 3 times 13. So the highest common factor we get 2, 3, and 13. So 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times 13, we got 78. Next, for the question 95, we divide by 5. 19, what is prime number? 120, we divide by 2. 60, divide by 2. 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 4. So we get 2 to the 2 cube, yeah, times 3 times 5, and the only factors equal to 5. Next, number 2, use prime factorization to determine the LCM of both questions. 54 we divide by 2, 27 divide by 3 equal to 9, 3 and 3. So 2 times 3 cube. 60 we get 2 and 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 5. So the product of prime factorization 2 square times 3 times 5. The LCM we got 2 square times 3 cube times 5. So the answer is basically 4 times 27 times 5. 450. Next, 120, 2 and 60, 2 and 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 5. So 3 cube times 3 times 5 for 180. We got 2 and 90, 2 and 45, 3, 15, 3 and 5. 2 square, 3 square, and 5. So the LCM 2 cube times 3 square times 5. So the answer is 8 times 9 times 5. 360. Next, 54 and 72. 54, 2, 27, 3, 9, 3 and 3, 3 times 3 cube, 2 and 36, 2 and 18, 2 and 9, 3 and 3. So 2 cube to 3 square. So the LCM 2 cube times 3 cube. So 8 times 27, 216. Next, we continue with 60, 2 and 30, 2, 15, 3 and 5. So 2 square times 3 times 5 and 72. We got the LCM 2 cube times 3 square times 5. So 8 times 9 times 5, 360. 48 and 60, we already get the prime factorization of 60. We continue with 48, 2 and 24, 2 and 12, 2 and 6, 2 and 3. 2 to the power of 4 times 3. So the prime factorization times 3 times 5, which is 16 times 3 times 5, 200, and we got 240. Next, we continue with 95, 5 and 19, 150, 275, 3 and 25, 5 and 5. So we got 5 times 19, 2 times 3 times 5 square. So the LCM 2 times 3 times 5 square times 19. 2 times 3 equals 6 times 25 times 19. We got the answer 2,850. Next, we continue with G, 54, 2 and 27, 3, 9, 3 and 3, 2 times 3 cubed, 90, 2, 45, 3, 15, 3 and 5. So we get 3 times 3 square times 5. So the LCM, 2 times 3 cubed times 5. 2 times 27 times 5, 270. We continue with 120, divide by 2, 60, 2 and 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 5. So we get 2 cubed times 3 times 5. The LCM for both number, 2 cubed, 3 square, and 5. So we get 8 times 9 times 5, and the answer 360. We continue with questions number 3. Determine both the HCF and LCM for the following number: 72, 2 and 36, 2 and 18, 2 and 9, 3 and 3. We write down as 2 cubed times 3 square, 108, 2 and 44, 2 and 27, 3 and 9, 3 and 3. So 2 square times 3 cubed. For the HCF, highest common factor, we have 2 square and 3 square. So we got 36. And for the least common multiple, we get 2 cubed times 3 cubed. So 8 times 27, 216. Next, we continue with 25 is times 5 square, 200, 2 and 100, 2 and 50, 2 and 25, 5 and 5. We get 2 cubed times 5 square. So for the HCF, we get 25, and the LCM, we get 2 cubed and 5 square, so the answer is 200. Next, for 95, 5 and 19, 120, 2 and 60, 2 and 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 5. So we get 2 cubed times 3 times 5. So the highest common factor, only 5. And we continue with the LCM is 2 cubed 8 times 3 times 5 and times 19, which is 2,280. Then 84 divide by 2, 42, divide by 2, 21, 3 and 7. 2 square times 3 times 7. 60, we divide by 2 and we got 30, divide by 2, 15, 3 and 5. So 2 square times 3 times 5. For the highest common factor, we only get 2 square times 3, so we get 12. And the least common multiple, we got 4 times 3 times 5 and then times 7. So the answer is 420. We continue with question number 4. A radio station runs a poll in competition for listeners. Every 13th caller get a free airtime voucher and every 120th caller get a free mobile phone. how many listeners must phone in before one receive both an airtime voucher and free phone? So we will use the LCM for both number 30 and 120. 30, we use 2 and 15, 3 and 5. So 2 times 3 times 5. 120, we divide by 2, 60, 230, then 215, 3 and 5. So 2 cube times 3 times 5. So the LCM is 2 cube times 3 times 5, which is, the answer is 120. We continue with number 5. Lee runs around a track in 12 minutes. James runs around the same track in 80 minutes. If they start in the same place at the same time, how many minutes will pass before they both cross the start line again, together again? So we find LCM of 12 and 18. 12 divided by 2 equals 6, 2 and 3. So 2 squared times 3. 18 divided by 2, we got 9, and 3 times 3. So 2 times 3 squared. So the LCM is equal to 2 squared times 3 squared. We get 36. So that's all the answer. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.